Alright, so this time I'm going to talk about Tequila Sunrise, which I just watched for the first time. And I really, really thought that this, like, in terms of, like, I've never heard anything about this movie, like, ever. Like, online or anything. I've never heard anything about it. I feel like it's one of those movies that is a time capsule thing where, like, it's not going to be remembered. And it isn't remembered by a lot of people, especially if you did not grow up with this stuff. But I long to look for movies with actors in it that I will want to, like, I want to see some of these actors, see all their movies. And the cast alone for this, like Kurt Russell, Mel Gibson, and Michelle Pfeiffer, of course I wanted to see this movie, and I really, really actually dug it. I wish that it actually got a little more recognition, because this movie, I mean, it's not anything like unique, but it's an about an LA drug dealer who came clean recently, and like he is helping this guy Nick, played by Kurt Russell, and Mel Gibson is the LAPD cop Mac, or an LAPD guy, clean drug guy. Like, he's the guy. They both are trying to find this Mexican cartel leader, while Michelle Pfeiffer's character Joanne is in between both of them in kind of a love triangle. And not to say like her character is like that's all she is, but like I really thought that the story itself seems pretty like by the numbers. And I guess it is, but I really think that the actors, like all three of them, are really awesome in this movie. That it gave me like a step up from like saying that this is something that's been done before. But I think that, so what if it has? Like, I think that these actors in it really did a good job. Like, they all three of them in their prime. Like, this is literally their prime time whenever these actors were so big. Michelle Pfeiffer started out in the 80s. Mel Gibson just out of Lethal Weapon. And Kurt Russell doing all these movies before this in the 1980s. This was their time. And this is a movie that was it was a good decision to have all three of them together, because they were three rising stars, or stars that have already made a name for themselves. And they are really good in the movie. They really do bring something that if they weren't in it, I would have been like, oh, okay, it's just kind of a okay movie, but it just, these actors, I think, really do make me feel for the characters. Not just because I love these actors, it's just I feel like they give off such really good performances in this movie, where it feels real, it feels genuine, and I like that they all have a spotlight. Like Joanne and Mac kind of have an interesting relationship, but also Nick using the relationship with her for personal gain, but also liking Joanne. Like, I liked this love triangle, even though I'm not like, that's not something I'm usually like a big fan of. But because the acting is so good, it didn't bother me. Like, I thought this love triangle was interesting. I thought these characters were interesting, and they all had together such great, genuine, like, I feel like they felt real to me. These characters, these actors were playing, and the movie itself, like as a whole, is not always interesting, but for the most part it kept my attention. The pacing was fine. Honestly, it's whenever it gets to like the Mexican drug cartel thing, it's not as interesting. Like when Raul Julia comes in, who's the big bad of the Mexican drug cartel. Like, he's the bad guy in this movie, and he's good in the movie. I liked him in the movie, but that's where I kind of lose it with that. I liked when these characters have character moments. I thought their moments were fun together, and they were interesting, and also likable. And then I just thought that it really just it was just so genuine that I thought that this movie was a step up from like something if these actors weren't in it. So overall, I'd say it's a mixed movie, because I like a lot of it, but there's some parts that I think are just kind of by the numbers, but because the actors are so damn good in this movie, that it does bring it a step up. So overall, I'm kind of mixed on it, but I do really like it. I thought it was a really fun time, and overall, because of all these actors, I really thought it gave me it gave me everything I needed from these actors in this time period. So overall, just one of those little gems that I think you should check out. I really enjoyed it.